Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, The Glam Show. Too much excitement. I guess I should say what the video is, but I mean, if you've read down below, you already know what the video is, so do I really need to say? I mean, some people can't really read. The video is an eyeshadow do's and don'ts. So I'm going to be telling you the do's and the don'ts. Actually, no, this is going to be the do side. This is going to be the don't side. It's going to be the do's. No, this is going to be the do side. This is going to be the please don't side. So just... But anyways, we're going to jump right into the video. So the first thing that you want to do before anything is make sure you prime your eyelids. So when I first started out with makeup, I did use actual eyeshadow primer that you buy in the stores. I think I was using the Urban Decay primer potions. As you know, time went by, I found that concealer works just as well, if not better. I feel like my colors show up way more vibrant when I use concealer versus an eyeshadow primer. It's the L.A Girl Pro concealer in the shade Creamy Beige. Just to show you the side effects of not priming your eyelid, I'm going to leave this eye just like that. So to blend this out, I like to use my Real Techniques Beauty Blender and just pat it down so that I get a nice even layer. Next thing that you're going to want to do is set this with a powder so that when it comes time to blending, you can easily blend all your eyeshadows out. Concealer has a sticky consistency, so if you put eyeshadow on top of that concealer and then attempt to blend your eyeshadows out, it's not going to work. So you want to put down powder first so that your eyeshadow brush can easily glide across your eye. I'm just using a regular face powder. This is the same shade as my skin tone.
So just patting that on my eye.
You can easily tell the difference. So one thing that is extremely important is to have clean brushes. You don't want to use dirty brushes. If you dip this into brown, you want it to show up as brown, not brown mixed with purple and whatever you previously did. And if you're like me and sometimes you get lazy when it comes to cleaning your brushes, I buy this little thing from Sephora. Compared to other daily brush cleaners that I've found, I really like this one. It gets the product off of the brush really easily and there is no drying times. So the first eyeshadow shade that I'm going to go in with is my transition shade. So for my transition shade, I'm going to use this color right here on a fluffy brush. You're always going to want to place your transition shade using a fluffy brush. Keep in mind that when you're working on the larger part of the eyes, you can use bigger, fluffier brushes. And when you're working on smaller parts of the eyes, as you'll see me do later, you'll go to your smaller brushes. This way, everything's not going all over the place and you are in complete control of where your eyeshadows are going. So with that being said, I'm taking my fluffy brush . Personally, I like to use a mixture of windshield wiper motions and I'll also do circular motions as well. Now what you don't want to do is go in with a super dark brown or dark color in general and attempt to apply that to your eye without any type of transition eyeshadow color first. Also pay attention to the brush that I'm using. Completely incorrect. It's not a fluffy brush at all. Right brush, wrong brush. I'm gonna hold it really close to the barrel and then attempt to use it as my transition shade. And I'm going to use strictly windshield wiper motions just to show you why I like to use a combination of circular motions and windshield wiper motions. I feel like when you only use windshield wiper motions, you get like this very sharp edge. When I do my eyeshadow, I like to work from lightest to darkest so that I can get like a nice little gradient effect. So now that I've had that light color down, I'm gonna go in with an eyeshadow that's a little bit darker. I'm going to go in with this brown shade right here. And every time you go in with a new color, you want to place it slightly below your last color, just so you can really get the gradient effect and every color can show through for what it is. Not want your colors mixing together and looking super muddy. So one trick that I really like to do is going back in with the previous shade to help blend out the shade that I just put down. So for example, my first shade was this shade right here. To help better blend out the edges of that brown shade that I had just put down, I'm gonna go back in with my last shade. This is a method that I do all throughout the eye look. And just to show you how weird your eyeshadow would look if you attempted to go from a dark shade to a light shade, I'm going to go in with this color right here. So yeah, they are not complementing each other at all. If anything, it makes my eye look a lot worse. Moving back to the dew side, now we can use that dark brown. This dark brown is actually the same dark brown I used over here, but I made the mistake by using it first rather than later on. Now we can use a dark brown in our outer V area. Actually, a little bit in the crease area, but more in a V shape. So now that that's down, I'm going to go in with my darkest shade, this black right here, and be extra careful with where I apply this black. You don't want too much black. So now that we are done with our transition shades, now we can move on to placing our lid color. So this is where your lid color is gonna go. So I've taken some concealer on the back of my hand. This is in the shade Pure Beige, by the way, from L.A Girl. And I am taking a small circular concealer brush. So I'm starting from the inside of my eye, dragging it a little bit. You want this to be a nice even layer. This trick is also really nice for people who do have small eyes or people who have hooded eyelids like myself. I know for some people when you open your eyes you can't see the lid color anymore, so what I like to do is draw the concealer slightly above my lid. That way when I open my eyes, you can still see the lid color. Personally, I really like using the flat eyeshadow brushes to place my lid color because I feel like it's really good when it comes to packing on eyeshadow. So I'm going to go in with this gold shade right here and pack that onto my eyelid. So when I do this, I don't really want to go like this. You definitely do not want to try to pack on eyeshadow like that. You want to pat it down and swipe it, pat it down, swipe it, pat it down, swipe it, just so you're really making sure you get the most pigment out of your eyeshadow. And then when I get to the edges, blend them out a little bit into my darker shade. So now that we have the eyeshadow on the dew side, I'm going to show you what you don't want to do. I'm going to take this little crease brush, the same gold color, and attempt to apply that to my lid. So as you guys can see, I applied my lashes and some eyeliner, and I even applied lashes and eyeliner to this eye too. Now I've placed a little bit of black eyeliner underneath my eye, and so now I'm just going to go in with adding some of the colors that I used up here, down here, to kind of like help smoke out that lower lash line, going from lightest to darkest. So I'm going to use my first transition shade down here. It's like you're doing the same exact thing. And then lastly, my black. What you don't want to do, first of all, I put way too much eyeliner to the point where it's just a little too low on my lower lash line, for my liking at least. What you don't want to do when it comes to trying to smudge out the lower lash line is jump right in with a dark color. So I'm going to show you this by using this brown shade. As you can see, it doesn't look flattering at all. That was my eyeshadow do's and don'ts. As you can see, this side needs a lot of help and this side looks very nice, very well put together. I want to point out that I feel like the shadows on my lid look way more pigmented on this side than they do on this side. As you guys remember from the beginning of the video, I did not prime this side of my eye. I primed this eye though. And yeah, I feel like it really allowed for the eyeshadows to show up in their truest form. I mean, if you do some of the things on this side, it is perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure when I first started out, my eyeshadow looked close to this as well.
Oh my god!
When you're first starting out, it's really hard to figure out what colors kind of complement each other, but I will let you guys know it definitely will come to you with a ton of practice. This isn't something you're just gonna get overnight, but I really hope you guys found this video helpful. I try to explain things as easy and in the most simplest form as I could possibly think to. Let me know what you guys think down below, if this video was helpful to you or if there's something that I could have better addressed or made clearer to you guys. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel, like, share this video with your other makeup friends or friends who could use a little bit of help, and be sure to follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. And I will see you in my next video.